Welcome back. Anyone who's ever had to find childcare for their kids knows that the process can be challenging and downright scary. How do you know if it's safe or if your child will be nurtured? Well, joining me to discuss this is Kaitlin Mulcahy, Associate Director of the Center for Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health at Montclair State University. Welcome to the program, Kaitlin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This process of finding a childcare provider is certainly daunting. Explain what are some of the things that parents go through?
Sure. So it is one of the hardest decisions to have to make, and sometimes without any information at all. Studies have shown that parents choose their childcare really by geography, so what's close, what's obviously affordable, and how it feels when they walk inside, which are good things to be thinking about, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a quality choice.
How should parents be approaching this decision? Are there key questions they should be asking?
Yes, so there's 4 key questions I think that we could keep in our minds when we're walking into a new place. The first is, do they work off of a curriculum? So some places will say, yes, absolutely, very quickly, and other places might look at you and say, what's a curriculum? The second one is play. Does play make a part of their day? So we don't want kids in early care only learning ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. We want them to play as well. The third is, do kids have the opportunity to play together? So not just adult directed the entire day, that they actually have a choice to make and play together. And then the fourth is, are there predictable and consistent routines in the day that the kids can expect?
Let's expound on that routine part a bit. What kind of routine should a child have? Adding on to what you just said, right? The play together.
Yes. So kids feel safer when they know what's next. And that's generally a good parenting skill as well. So to keep a child on a predictable, consistent routine can really help them feel safe, which helps them learn better. So you often might see, when you walk into an early care and education facility, a visual schedule on the wall that might say meeting time, outdoor time, play time, book time, music time, dance time. It doesn't necessarily have to say exact times when that happens, but there's a predictable routine through the day that the children can expect. And oftentimes, right at the beginning of the day, one child might have that role that day to walk the whole class through what's next, so that they know what comes.
So the children start to understand that they have a schedule and this is how we do things. It's not just happening around them. They become part of that process.
Exactly.
And how is that different or the same as a curriculum?
So a curriculum is really for the teachers to follow, so that there's a predictable and consistent routine for teachers as well, so that they know what's next.
And are we measuring growth? Are we advancing through concepts?
Exactly. Yep. And are we meeting all of the things that we want the children to learn? STEM, math, history, social science, language arts, are all of these things included in our day? And a curriculum can really help structure a school so that they follow those things together.
And again, making sure the play is incorporated, because kids do learn best when they play, right?
Absolutely.
That's how kids learn.
Absolutely.
It's really important that parents understand, once they've found a school that meets this criteria, that they understand that they play a really important role in their child's development too, right? We know that from 0 to 3, the brain is growing the fastest, right?
Yes.
So why and what should parents be doing at home to really nurture their kids during this really critical time, 0 to 3?
Yes, so there's 2 really big important pieces that parents can do. The first is read with the children. So I think this is popular, but it can be confusing to think about what and for how long and which book. And really, even as small as infants, you could read the newspaper to them. That you don't need to read a children's book consistently. They just need to be exposed to language, and your language and the tone and the pacing that you bring. And children will learn language that way. When kids are older, you can share books together.
So we start to see a disparity, right, from families who are, I would say, socioeconomic differences, right? There are parents who are sometimes working 3 jobs, don't really have the time to come home and read to the kids. Maybe the kids are already in bed, or maybe English is their second language, and so they're not able to support the vocabulary in the home. What advice would you give to these families?
So we talk about a 10-minute a day cozy play and reading time. So only 10 minutes a day. You don't need to be thinking about doing this for hours upon hours. It's 10 minutes of dedicated time. That means the phone is down. There's not another distraction. And you could even put your phone on a timer. So you just have 10 minutes where you either read or play in cozy ways. So not big, loud play, but in nice building puzzles, reading a book together, drawing, coloring, anything where you're talking and asking about the day and kind of going over what happened that day. You're using your language and in that moment, and it's really only 10 minutes. So it can feel very overwhelming to parents who have significant competing demands, but building out 10 minutes of uninterrupted, cozy playtime really goes really far in developing the children's brains.
Is it important that the learning that happens in the classroom or in the daycare, childcare center mirrors the learning that's happening at home?
So what's really important is that the school and the parents have a partnership, that they know what's happening in each part of the day, that the discipline strategies can be similar, that the learning can be similar, because sometimes when kids feel like they're in two different worlds, it can be very distracting and feel unsafe to them. They don't know what to expect in each place. So that carryover is really important. But for parents who might have a lot of work or time where they need to be external to the home and not with their children, that time where they can, again, spend 10 minutes of cozy time together, even if they don't instruct like they might get instructed at school, that's okay, because that relational time is really important.
And just in the few seconds that we have left, I know that New Jersey recently put a rating system in place, which is so critically important for so many families who don't have great options depending on where they live. Explain that very quickly.
Correct. So nationally, the quality rating and improvement system is improving the quality of care throughout the country. In New Jersey, our system's called Grow NJ Kids. So there'll be a star system, a 3, a 4, or a 5-star rating for programs. So when you walk in, the fifth question you can ask is, do you participate in the Grow NJ Kids system, and do you have a star rating?
Thank you so much, Kaitlin. And for our viewing audience, please make sure that you check out the website rightfromthestartnj.org, where they can learn so much information about childcare centers, advocacy that is out there to support families who otherwise may not be able to fight for themselves. But rightfromthestartnj.org. Kaitlin Mulcahy, Associate Director, Center for Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health at Montclair State University. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Life and Living has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been provided by the Turrell Fund, the Nicholson Foundation, Hackensack Meridian Health, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by United Airlines. Additional support provided by Melandre Salon and Sulis Spa. Look beautiful, feel beautiful. Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.